So I have spastic cerebral palsy that occurred from birth, and there are various levels of cerebral palsy. The way that I like to describe it is that if you're an adult that has a head injury, like you break your neck or you are deprived of oxygen, your body still has muscle memory of how to move and speak and do daily life activities, even if your brain can no longer accomplish those things. Whereas when you're born with cerebral palsy, you are a newborn, so there's no neural mapping in your brain for movement, coordination, daily life activities. Wherever you have the brain hemorrhage is what gets knocked out. So for me, the brain bleed occurred as I was being born prematurely, and it affects my hand-eye coordination, motor skills, walking predominantly, throughout my whole body, even though I have more upper body strength than lower body strength. I use crutches mostly for walking. There are various levels, like if the brain bleed is less, you might be able to walk without any sort of wheelchair or crutches, but your speech might be affected, or you may have one limb that's affected and walk with a limp. Mine is both sides of my body. No speech impediment, no cognition impediment, but I definitely do not move like able-bodied people, and basically any of the movements that I do have as an adult are remapped. So the area of my brain that controls walking is lights out, and I have learned movement through other areas of my brain. And I've actually had a couple of CAT scans of my brain, and you can see the area that's darkened, which is approximately like this big, and then the areas that have more energy or functionality. So for me, there's a couple of correlates. Usually people with CP that have trouble walking also have trouble with spatial relationships and math, whereas people that have trouble speaking often have cognitions problems. And like mine is all the lower part of the brain, but Broca's area is right above your left ear, which controls speech and creativity and cognition, and mine is like super amped and like the rest of my brain is like super dead. For me, like, I grew up in a household or in a community where I was the only one with a physical disability for a very long time that I knew. I mean, at the time there wasn't inclusion classes, all of the special ed people were kept in a special ed school, and I was one of the first people to be in a mainstream school with average, able-bodied, pretty kids, either definition, So for me, it wasn't ever really about you're not pretty enough, it's that you're not able-bodied enough, and how that equates to beauty or ugliness. I mean, like, to this day, I don't really evaluate my body and think that it's ugly. I just think that it's not able-bodied enough.